Welcome to this series on change management. Organizations today are constantly evolving. New technologies emerge, new processes are introduced, and businesses must adapt quickly to remain competitive. But implementing change is rarely easy. Many organizations invest millions of dollars into new systems or new strategies, yet the transformation fails. Ever wondered why? Because the human side of change is often overlooked. In this video, we will explore what change management actually means, why it is important, and some of the most widely used change management methodologies. Studies consistently show that a large percentage of transformation initiatives fail, not because the technology is bad, not because the strategy is wrong, but because people resist change. Think about it from a human perspective. If employees have worked a certain way for many years, suddenly introducing a new system can create uncertainty. There can be a fear of losing expertise and concerns about job security. So, without a structured approach to guide people through the transition, even the best initiatives can struggle. That is exactly why change management exists. At its core, change management is all about helping people adapt to a change. Current state is the state in which the organization is operating at that very moment using its existing traditional processes. Using change management, we are trying to transition to a new improved system which is represented as the future state. Maybe there is a certain process, a technology stack, or a workflow that employees are already comfortable with. That maps to your current state. Now, when leadership decides to introduce a new tool or process, the organization is essentially moving towards a future state. But that transition will not happen automatically. There are certain things that need to happen for the transition to be successful and smooth. Employees have to understand why the change is happening. They have to understand how their work will change and what skills they will need to succeed. Change management ensures all of this understanding and transition happens smoothly. You can think of change management like a bridge between the present and the future. The present, represented by the current state, is how things are done today, and the future represents the improved way of working. The challenge lies in this transition phase. This is where organizations face the most resistance, most confusion and uncertainty and fear. So, a well designed change management strategy will help people cross that bridge successfully. Change management becomes critical when organizations undergo transformation. For example, if a company moves from traditional servers to cloud infrastructure, then employees must learn new tools. If a company adopts a new developer platform, engineering teams need to adjust their workflows. Similarly, during mergers and acquisitions, employees from different cultures and systems need to integrate. Without change management, all of these transitions become chaotic. Let's look at a simple example. Consider an organization that previously managed its projects using spreadsheets. Now, spreadsheets can work for small teams. They often become difficult to maintain as projects grow. By introducing an automated project management platform, teams gain real time visibility, collaboration tools, and better workflow management. So, from a technical perspective, the new tool is clearly better. But employees may resist. They may say, the old system works fine, the new tool is complicated, or that they don't have the time to learn it. So, without proper communication and training, the adoption is bound to remain low. Change management helps to address these challenges. Now, any successful change initiative typically includes several core components. First is leadership alignment. Employees look to leaders for signals about whether change is truly important. Second is communication. Third is training and enablement, where employees must be equipped with the skills to succeed in the new system, while communication helps people understand the reason for the change. Fourth critical element is stakeholder engagement. Different groups experience change differently, so engagement with all the stakeholders is critical for the success. And finally, reinforcement ensures the new behavior becomes permanent. To guide the organizations through change, several frameworks have been developed. These frameworks provide structured approaches for planning, communicating, and sustaining change initiatives. Today, let's explore three widely used models. The first model is the ADKAR model. ADKAR stands for Awareness, Desire, Knowledge, Ability, and Reinforcement. The idea here is that organizational change only succeeds when individuals move through these five stages. In the first stage, awareness, people must understand why the change is necessary. In the second stage, desire, employees must be willing to support the change. The third critical element is knowledge, where people must know how to change. Fourth is the ability of the employees, which means employees must have the skills to implement the change. Finally, reinforcement ensures the change becomes permanent. Let's understand it better with an example. Consider a technology company introducing a new development platform. Now, in the awareness stage, leadership explains why the change is necessary. The developers learn that the existing tools slow down collaboration and deployment. Next comes desire, where employees become motivated to support the change because the new platform will improve their productivity and simplify the workflows. In the knowledge stage, developers receive the training on how to actually use the new platform. In the ability stage, teams begin deploying real applications using the new system. Finally, reinforcement ensures the change becomes permanent by recognizing teams that adopt the platform and integrate the new tools into their everyday development processes. The second model for change management that is widely used is called the Kotter's 8-step model. This model was developed by the Harvard professor John Kotter, and thus the name. The critical 8 steps in the Kotter's 8-step model include creating urgency, building a guiding coalition of key members, forming a vision, communicate the vision, remove the obstacles, create quick wins for motivation, then sustain the acceleration of the change, anchor the change. In all these 8 steps, the model focuses heavily on leadership and momentum compared to the ADKAR model, where the emphasis was on individual development. Let us understand Kotter's 8-step model using a banking example where a traditional bank introduces a mobile banking platform. Step 1. Create a sense of urgency. Bank leadership begins by showing data that customers are increasingly using digital banking services and that fintech companies are attracting younger customers. This creates the urgency for their transformation. Step 2. Build a guiding coalition. The bank forms a leadership team consisting of executives, IT leaders, and operation managements who will guide the digital transformation effort. Step 3. Form a strategic vision and initiatives. The organization defines a clear goal to provide secure and convenient mobile banking services. This includes initiatives such as mobile payments, digital account opening, and online transfers. Step 4. Enlist a volunteer army. Employees across the departments are encouraged to support the change, and the branch managers and customer service teams help to promote the new digital services to the customers. Step 5. Enable action by removing barriers. Now, the bank upgrades its IT infrastructure and also provides training so employees can confidently assist customers with the mobile banking app. Step 6. Generate short term wins. The bank now launches a pilot version of the mobile app and celebrates milestones such as the first 1,000 customers, the next 1,000 customers, etc., using digital transactions. Step 7. Sustain the acceleration. The organization continues improving the app by adding features like mobile check deposits and AI chat support. Finally, the instituting the change, like digital banking becomes a norm. It's part of the bank's common day-to-day operations, and most customers are using mobile services now instead of visiting the branches. The third key change model is Levin's change model. This was introduced by Kurt Lewin and is one of the earliest change management models. The Levin's change model is a simple three-step model: unfreeze, change, and refreeze. First, organizations need to unfreeze the existing mindset by preparing people for change, which means unfreezing the current state. Second, the organization introduces new processes. Finally, the new behavior becomes stabilized through reinforcement. Essentially, this classic model describes change as a three-stage process: organizations preparing people for change, implementing the change, and finally stabilizing the new process. Let's understand Levin's change model with a simple example of a food industry where restaurants are trying to introduce digital ordering kiosks. Now, in the unfreeze phase, leadership communicates why the change is necessary and prepares employees through training and discussion. In the change phase, the kiosks are installed and employees begin using the new system while supporting customers during the transition. This will be the implementation phase. And finally, in the refreeze phase, the new technology becomes a normal part of restaurant operations and the change has been stabilized. To summarize, change management is not just about technology or strategy. It is actually about helping the people adapt to new ways of working. The three structured frameworks, the ADKAR model, Kotter's 8-step, Levin's change models, are some of the frameworks that help organizations guide their employees through a change effectively. But ultimately, the success of change depends on whether people adopt and sustain new behavior. Change management focuses on the people side of transformation. So, while any framework can help guide change initiatives, still any successful change requires adoption and reinforcement. In the next video of this series, we will explore how change management actually works inside organizations, including the roles, responsibilities, and the practical steps which are involved in implementing change. See you in the next video. Thank you.